Blood Meridian. Picture a world where violence isn't the exception, it's the religion. Where murder has prophets and chaos keeps scripture. Where a man can dance in blood and call it art. In Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, the American frontier isn't cowboys and heroism. It's a slaughterhouse, and everyone's covered in red. The 1850s in the Southwest. The kid, barely a teenager, nameless and nobody, drifts into Mexico just as the region explodes into war. He joins the Glanton Gang, real historical scalp hunters paid to kill Apaches. But they don't stop at Apaches. They slaughter Mexicans, civilians, children, anyone, because a scalp is a scalp, and money doesn't ask questions. The gang rides from massacre to massacre. Towns burn, bodies pile like firewood, babies are swung against rocks. And through it all, there's Judge Holden. 7 feet tall, hairless, albino, speaking Latin and philosophy while sketching birds between murders. He never sleeps. He never ages. He claims that war is God, that violence is the truest form of existence. Whatever exists without my knowledge, he says, exists without my consent. So he documents everything, animals, plants, people. Then he destroys them because existence, to the judge, is a competition. This isn't survival. This isn't even greed. It's violence as ideology. McCarthy writes like a biblical prophet describing hell. The desert is an altar. The dead are offerings. And humanity, just another animal screaming into silence. The kid tries to walk away. Years pass. He drifts through the remnants of the West, older now, quieter. But you don't escape the judge. In a saloon, decades later, they meet again. The judge smiles. He embraces the kid, takes him into a back room. And whatever happens next, McCarthy never says clearly. But the kid doesn't come out. And the judge? He's still dancing. Because Blood Meridian isn't about history. It's about the part of us that watches violence and doesn't look away. The part that knows evil exists and wonders if maybe, just maybe, it's winning. At the end, the judge declares he will never die. And you believe him. The road. The world didn't end with fire or flood. It just stopped. The sun's a gray smudge. The trees are charcoal. Nothing grows. Nothing breathes. Nothing sings. Just ash falling like snow that never melts. In the Road. By Cormac McCarthy, a father and son walk through the corpse of America, pushing a shopping cart filled with cans, blankets, and the last shreds of hope they can carry. No names, no origin story, just 2 shapes moving south through nuclear winter or solar death or something worse. McCarthy never says. The boy was born after everything ended. He doesn't remember color, he doesn't remember music. All he knows is cold, hunger, and his father's voice telling him they are the good guys. But what does good even mean when you are stepping over skeletons and hiding from cannibals? Because that is what is left. Roving gangs who keep people in cellars like livestock, who chain pregnant women in basements for fresh meat. The father and son find a house once, a nice house, a locked door. Inside, bodies in the basement, some still alive, waiting to be eaten. They run. They always run. The father is dying, coughing blood into rags, fever dreams of the world before. His wife walked into the snow years ago because she could not live in this. And the gun. Always the gun. 2 bullets. One for the boy if things go bad, one for him. Because death is mercy now. Every step south is a prayer. For warmth, for the coast, for something, anything, that is not gray. The boy asks questions. Would you eat me if I died? Are we gonna die? Why do we keep going? And his father has no answers, just lies wrapped in love. What makes the road unbearable is not the cannibals. It is the slow erosion of humanity. The moments when the boy shows kindness, shares food, asks about others, and his father has to crush it. Because kindness gets you killed. Because in a dead world, morality is a luxury you cannot afford. But the boy holds onto it anyway. And that is the real tragedy. The book does not promise hope. It just shows you what love looks like when there is nothing left to love for. When carrying the fire is just a story you tell so your son does not lose his mind, before the cold takes him. In the end, it is not about survival. It is about what you lose to keep breathing, and whether a soul can survive in a world that has none. The fifth child. They wanted the perfect family. Big house, traditional values, Sunday dinners, and lots of children laughing in the garden. Harriet and David got exactly what they wished for, until they did not. In The Fifth Child by Doris Lessing, domestic bliss does not shatter. It mutates into something you cannot name and cannot escape. 4 children at first. Polite, normal, loved. Then Harriet becomes pregnant with the 5th. From day 1, it is wrong. Violent kicks that bruise her from inside. Movements that feel like attacks. The pregnancy is a war her body is losing. Then Ben is born. He does not cry like a baby. He does not coo. He does not bond. His eyes are flat, ancient, wrong. As he grows, the wrongness grows with him. He is strong, impossibly strong. He breaks things. He hurts pets. He hurts his siblings. No remorse, no recognition, just hunger and rage and something cold where a child's warmth should be. Family stops visiting. The other kids fade into corners, terrified. Everything revolves around Ben now, what he will break next, who he will hurt. Doctors have no answers. They suggest institutionalization, medication, therapy. Nothing works. Because Ben is not sick. He is something else. A throwback, maybe. A genetic anomaly. An accident of evolution. Harriet looks at her son and sees a stranger. Worse, a monster. And the horror is this. She is his mother. She is supposed to love him. Society demands it. Her own guilt demands it. But when she looks into his eyes, she feels nothing but dread. She sends him away, to an institution where they drug children into zombies. For a moment, the house breathes again. The other kids laugh. Life returns. But guilt is louder than relief. She brings him back, not out of love, but out of shame, out of the crushing weight of being a mother who abandoned her child. When Ben returns, so does the nightmare. It is permanent now. The older kids leave as soon as they can. The house empties. David grows distant. Harriet is left alone with the thing she gave birth to. The 5th child does not give you monsters with claws. It gives you the monster at your dinner table, the one you cannot explain, cannot fix, and cannot leave. It asks the question no one wants to answer. What if your child is the villain? What if biology betrayed you? What if love is not enough and never was? Because Ben does not change. He just gets older, and the horror becomes permanent. Imagine a city made of glass, every wall transparent, every movement visible. Privacy is treason. Individuality is disease. And happiness? That's mandatory. In We by Yevgeny Zamyatin, freedom isn't stolen. It's surgically removed. Welcome to one state, a society perfected through mathematics. Citizens aren't named. They're numbered. D503, O90, I330. Everyone wakes, eats, works, and sleeps at the same time, governed by the table of hours. Spontaneity is sabotage. Emotions are illness. And if you want sex, you apply for a pink ticket. D503 is a loyal mathematician, chief engineer of the Integral, a spaceship meant to export one state's perfection to other planets. He worships the benefactor, the god leader who ensures total order. He writes in his journal praising the system, until he meets I330. She's wrong. She drinks, smokes, laughs too loud, skips her schedule, disappears into forbidden zones, talks about the soul like it's real, and slowly, D503 begins to unravel. He develops feelings. He dreams. He writes poetry. All symptoms of a sickness they call imagination. Because in one state, dreams are a neurological defect. They have a cure for that. I330 pulls him deeper, shows him the world outside the green wall, wild, chaotic, free, shows him a rebellion forming. And D503 is terrified because for the first time, he's awake. And waking up in a glass cage is agony. The rebellion fails. Of course it does. And one state responds with the great operation, a a surgical procedure to remove the imagination, to cut out the part of the brain that questions, that dreams, that loves. D503 is strapped down. They operate, and when he wakes, he's cured, blank, calm, obedient. He watches I-330 tortured behind glass and feels nothing. He returns to work and writes his final journal entry praising the benefactor's wisdom. We was written in 1921, before Orwell, before Huxley, and it's somehow more suffocating than both, because it's not about surveillance or propaganda. It's about making people want their chains, about turning resistance into a disease and calling the cure progress. The genius of We is this: the prison isn't the glass walls, it's the glass inside your skull. And once they crack that open and clean out the mess, you'll thank them for it. The trial. You wake up, make coffee, head to work. Normal Tuesday. Then two men knock on your door and tell you you're under arrest. For what? They don't say. When's the trial? They don't know. Who's the judge? No one tells you. In The Trial by Franz Kafka, justice isn't blind. It's a labyrinth, and you're already guilty. Joseph K., a bank manager, logical and precise, suddenly finds himself accused of nothing and prosecuted by everyone. He's told to appear in court, but given no address. He stumbles into a hearing in an attic, but no one explains the charges. Officials appear and vanish. Lawyers speak in riddles. Documents pile up, but they're never read. He hires a lawyer. The lawyer does nothing but talk and delay. Joseph fires him. He seeks help from a painter who knows the court. The painter explains the three types of acquittals: actual, apparent, and indefinite postponement. None of them mean freedom. All of them mean you're trapped forever. Because that's the system. Massive, faceless, incomprehensible. It doesn't need evidence to ruin you. It just needs you to accept that it exists. And slowly, Joseph does. He stops asking what he's charged with. He starts asking how guilty he is. He meets a priest in a cathedral. The priest tells him a parable about a man waiting at a gate, waiting his whole life for permission to enter. The gatekeeper says, "Not yet." The man dies waiting, and the priest says the gatekeeper was right to deny him. Joseph doesn't understand. Neither do you. That's the point. The deeper Joseph searches for answers, the more absurd it gets. But absurdity doesn't stop the machine. It is the machine. And the machine doesn't care if you understand it. It just keeps grinding. 1 year after his arrest, two men in suits come for him. They walk him to a quarry. They lay him down. They hand him a knife and wait for him to do it himself. He doesn't. So they do it for him. Like a dog, Kafka writes. Like a dog. The trial isn't about crime. It's about control, about how systems become so complex, so bureaucratic, that guilt becomes irrelevant. You're guilty because you were accused, and once you're in the system, you never get out. Because the real horror isn't the execution. It's spending a year chasing answers that don't exist, believing that if you just find the right form, the right judge, the right argument, you'll be free. But freedom was never an option. The trial was the punishment, and the verdict was decided before you woke up. Solaris. Humanity went to space to find meaning. Instead, we found a mirror. In Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, first contact is not enlightenment, it is haunting. The planet Solaris is covered by a sentient ocean, not water, something else, something alive, aware, and incomprehensible. Scientists studied it for decades, built theories, and tried to communicate. The ocean never responded until it did. Psychologist Chris Kelvin arrives at the Solaris research station expecting science. He finds chaos. One crew member dead. The others paranoid, broken, refusing to explain. Then it happens. Someone from his past appears, his wife, who killed herself years ago. She is real, flesh, blood, memory, emotion. She does not know she is dead. She does not know she is not human. She is a perfect replica, created by the ocean from Kelvin's memories. And she loves him, or she thinks she does. The other crew members have their own visitors, manifestations of guilt, trauma, shame. The ocean does not speak through language, it speaks through pain. It reaches into their minds, pulls out their deepest wounds, and makes them real. Kelvin tries to understand. Is this communication? Is it attack? Is it curiosity? The ocean gives no answers. It continues, vast and indifferent, creating ghosts out of grief. His wife, the replica, begins to realize what she is. She asks questions. Why do I only remember certain things? Why can't I leave the station? Why do you look at me with such sadness? Kelvin has no good answers, because how do you tell someone they are a copy of a ghost? Some crew members try to destroy their visitors. Others fall in love with them. Kelvin is caught between. She's not real, but she feels real. In the end, isn't that the same thing? The horror of Solaris is not monsters. It is the realization that the universe does not care about us, that contact with alien intelligence does not elevate humanity. It exposes us, our guilt, our grief, our inability to let go. Solaris does not want to talk. It does not want to destroy us. It is simply doing something we will never understand, and we are insects trying to comprehend the ocean by drowning in it. The book ends without resolution. Kelvin stays on the station, staring at the alien sea, waiting for something that will never come. Not answers, not closure, just the slow, maddening awareness that we are alone, even when we are haunted. Roadside picnic. The aliens came. They did not conquer. They did not communicate. They did not even notice us. They landed, stayed briefly, and left. And what they left behind was trash. In Roadside Picnic by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, humanity found first contact in 6 garbage dumps called zones. Toxic, surreal, deadly, and filled with artifacts that break physics. Redrick Schuhart is a stalker, a smuggler who risks his life sneaking into the zone to retrieve alien junk. Batteries that levitate. Bracelets that might grant wishes. Puddles that trap you in time. Devices that kill in ways scientists cannot explain. He does not understand what any of it does. No one does. They are beyond human comprehension. The title says everything. The alien visit was a roadside picnic. They stopped, ate, dropped some trash, and left. And we are the ants crawling over bottle caps and cigarette butts, trying to figure out what gods eat for lunch. Red does not care about philosophy. He needs money. For his daughter. For his crumbling life. And every trip into the zone costs him. Friends die. His body warps. His mind frays. But he keeps going because desperation is louder than fear. The zone does not follow rules. Gravity shifts. Time loops. Objects appear and vanish. And worst of all, the zone changes you. Red's daughter was born after he started stalking. She is covered in golden fur. She does not speak. She is something new, something wrong, a mutation from exposure. The deeper horror is not the danger, it is the indifference. The aliens did not leave weapons or warnings. They left accidents, byproducts, waste. We are not special. We are insects poking at scraps we will never understand. By the end, Red has one goal: find the golden sphere, a rumored artifact deep in the zone that grants your innermost wish. He fights through hell to reach it. Friends die. His guide dies. He arrives alone, bloodied, desperate, and he hesitates. Because what if your truest wish is not what you think? What if your soul, laid bare, is uglier than you imagined? He falls to his knees, not in triumph, in confusion, in terror. Because standing in front of something that can rewrite reality, the scariest thing is yourself. Roadside Picnic is not about aliens. It is about the gap between us and meaning, about clawing through hell for answers and realizing the universe never asked us questions in the first place. The Cats of Ulthar. In the quiet town of Ulthar, there is one law. No man may kill a cat. In The Cats of Ulthar by H.P. Lovecraft, that rule is not superstition. It is survival. It starts with cruelty. An old couple at the edge of town known for hating cats. Strays disappear near their cottage. Everyone knows what happens. no one interferes. Fear keeps them quiet. Then a caravan of wandering mystics passes through. Among them is a boy named Menace and his beloved black kitten. The next morning, the kitten is gone. The old couple says nothing. Menace does not cry, does not shout. He just stares at the sky and whispers something in a language older than towns, older than cruelty. That night, the cats come. From windows, from alleys, from the woods, silent, purposeful. They enter the cottage, and they do not leave. By morning, the couple is gone. No bodies, no blood, just silence and the faint smell of something wrong. The cats are clean, calm, and the town understands. From that day forward, the law is absolute. No man may kill a cat in Ulthar. What makes this story haunting is not the revenge. It is the suggestion that cats are not just animals, that they serve something ancient, divine, watchful. That cruelty has a price, and sometimes the bill comes with claws. H.P. Lovecraft writes it like folklore, but beneath the simplicity is cosmic dread. The idea that the world has rules we do not see, that certain creatures are protected by forces we will never understand. That vengeance does not need ghosts or gods, just patience and teeth. In Ulthar, evil is not met with justice. It is met with inevitability. And the cats remember everything. If you like these dark and disturbing books, watch our other videos for more recommendations. Subscribe for more videos like this.